Every Monday evening, I will try to do a Genesis show looking at issues of creation. A dear brother over the months has sent me magazines, and I'll be looking at some of those magazines and sharing some of the information about creation. It's a big topic, it's an important topic. So, for every Monday, when I can, I will try to do that. I will try and talk about um, issues concerning creation and the Genesis account. Now, um, want to so we have an editorial here by Taz Walker. I'm so glad I checked. Uh, so let's just show you the screen here. And so the brother sent me these magazines. So let's see what the editorial's saying on. One Saturday morning, some time ago, I received an email. Hi, Taz. It's Roger here. I'm in Singapore and I need your help. My luggage has been stolen. They've taken my passport, wallet, and money. Would you be able to send me $3,000 so I can get home? I'll pay you back as soon as I return, Roger. I had known Roger for a long time and was upset about his predicament. Of course, I would help him. I started to work out how I would transfer the money. Then I thought to ring his home. Surprisingly, his wife answered, "Hello, Taz. It's nice to hear from you. A lot of our friends have contacted us this morning." She continued, "Roger is home with me. He is not in Singapore. That email you received is a scam." How close I came to losing 3,000. How easy it is to be deceived. I was so glad that I checked. And that is what Creation Magazine will do for you. It will enable you to check on the stories you are able to be told every day, which are true and which are false. Like the nature documentary that shows you some amazing designs and animals in an animal and says evolution did it, or the enormous dinosaur fossils on display at a museum, which they say is 100 million years old, or the school textbook, which says that part of the human body is useless evolutionary leftover. Creation Magazine will give you a different perspective. It will suggest things you can check out. It can save you a lot of pain. For example, in this issue, you can explore remarkable examples of design and see how they could not have evolved. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? Like the amazing blue color of blueberries and humphead ross. Also, you will see the incredible feat of how one type of air-breathing spider can thrive underwater. Plus, you can explore different angle on dinosaur fossils. Check out evidences that dinosaurs are not millions of years old, but were buried in Noah's flood just 4,500 years ago. And you may be surprised to learn about a false idea misleading for over 150 years, though unlikely the scam that nearly cost me $3,000, those pushing it generally believed it themselves. The yolk sac story misleads people into believing that we humans evolved from egg laying reptiles, but the claim is false. The feature is not sac, a yolk sac, nor is it a useless leftover from when our supposed reptile ancestors had one. The fact is that we did not evolve, but were created. Once again, as you enjoy this issue of Creation Magazine, you will learn that there is another side to the stories you have heard, like Judge Alberto Botti, who presided over a criminal investigation court in Italy. He considers creation publications essential, and he thinks their biblical worldview convincingly explains the sort of wrongdoing he sees continually, like the scam tried on me. Join so many other people as you read this issue and discover new information that will reinforce your biblical look on life. When you are finished, you can pass it on to others. After all, we don't want any of our family or friends misled. How fantastic is that? So many people today accept evolution, but they don't question it. You might have been brought up with the idea that we've evolved, but have you not ever questioned it? You just accepted it. Can I tell you, there isn't any evidence for evolution. Yes, we see birds change and rabbits change, but we don't see rabbits becoming birds and birds becoming rabbits. We don't see that. Okay. So I want you to think about questioning your belief. You believe, but what evidence do you have for your belief in evolution? And it's a scam. It's the biggest con job in history. Once you investigate it and you say, well, wait a minute, Jason, are you just going to promote conspiracy theories? No, we're going to look at evidence. We're going to look at data to show you categorically that evolution could not have happened. It just hasn't. But that there's been a divine creator, a God who did it. Okay? We're going to look at the evidence. Every week we'll look at evidence and show you that evolution is demonstrably false. And you say, yeah, but you show evidence, but you're not a scientist. I'm going to show you people who are top scientists with PhDs, the best in their field, who believe what I believe, that the Bible is true about Genesis 1, 2, and 3 being correct. So we'll do a few minutes on this. So here, our first point, incredible DNA folding mechanisms discovered. Biological cells are like tiny cities bustling with machines which perform numerous tasks required to keep cells alive. For decades, one class of these machines, called SMC, for structural maintenance of chromosomes, has been known to fold strands of DNA into intricate three-dimensional structures. This is crucial for the proper organization and function of the genome. Insights gained from multiple different studies have paved the way towards step-by-step model of how these machines might extrude loops of DNA. As part of this process, as SMC is a bit like an arm with two hands at one end, each hand folds either end of the stretch of DNA. One of these hands holds continuously, while the other periodically lets go. When the arm is bending, during which time the DNA loop becomes a little larger, the hand then re-grabs the DNA before the arm is re-extends. This way, the SMC can extrude longer and longer loops of DNA. The conundrum for evolution: the machine, useless until fully functional, is needed for reproduction. So natural selection, differential reproduction, can't explain it. So there is about DNA. I mean, that's amazing information. Absolutely amazing stuff there. I mean, how incredible was that to realize what was happening within the DNA there? How could that have come by chance? It shows you a divine mind that created us. Okay. So what's this? Evolutionary news tweets, sweets. Rowntree's confectionery company in the UK, owned by Nestle, may be inspired by evolutionary ideas in designing their latest lolly candies. Their recent fruit-flavored jellies gummies are called randoms. The packet claims they are more random than a monkey playing a saxophone. The flavors, colors mixed in each sweet, which come in a wide range of mostly recognizable shapes, are claimed as displayed billions of possible combinations. This apparently means you'll never get the same bag twice. Given Nestle's long-standing international reputation for making quality products, it's certain there won't be anything random about the ingredients they choose or their quality control. Not surprising, the 150 gram packet carries a finite best before date. Presumably, one is meant to consume them before random natural processes turn them into something less desirable, even more random. Now, that's a very funny thing to say, but it's true concerning the evolutionary process. They're saying that making these sweets is random, but there's actually thought going into what ingredients go into those sweets. So a random process can't produce intelligence. A random process cannot produce structure and order. There has to be a design involved, even when you're talking about sweets. Now, here's another issue. The path of the Lake Missoula flood shows up from space. Wow. The path of the Lake Missoula floods show up from space. What a brilliant magazine. The Lake Missoula flood, towards the end of the post-flood ice age, was rejected for 40 years because it was too catastrophically biblical in scale. Starting in the 1960s, thousands of pieces of evidence were discovered. These included satellite pictures, like the one here, of the channeled scape land of eastern Washington, showing the path of this flood. The image covers an area of 100 kilometers across, fertile farmland with cultivated paddocks appears as a molted mosaic of rectangles and circles. The later from central pivot irrigation. Enlarge this photo at an online reference below. The path of the Lake Missoula flood shows up a grey because it eroded the light-coloured silt down to the underlying black basalt. Still motivated to downplay the power of such enormous flood, a lot of secular scientists resort to as many as 90 baby floods through the peak of the last ice age to explain these features. But there is obvious evidence of only one large flood here and only one ice age. If there were dozens of floods, more silt would have been eroded, perhaps even completely removed. So there we see scientists denying the evidence before their very eyes of a massive flood there. And they want to break that down and not acknowledge it because it upsets their narrative. Okay. West deserts and Noah's flood. During the Ice Age, there were large lakes and rivers in areas of the world that are now arid and semi-arid. These wet deserts were around 30 N and 30 S latitude, areas that are commonly deserts today. Conventional scientists have great difficulty explaining these lakes in their all-dry Ice Age models. In the semi-arid southwest US, numerous large lakes exist during the post-flood Ice Age, leaving obvious shorelines around enclosed basins. Lake Bonneville, e.g., the dry bed of which is pictured here, was 300 m or 100 feet deep and 12 times the size of the remnant Great Salt Lake, which averages 15 feet deep today. Even Californian Death Valley, which holds the record for hottest temperature in the world, had a lake of 600 feet deep. How did these lakes fill with water in the short time of the flood ice age? They didn't. It was the final stage of the flood, the drainage of the continents, that left water ponded in enclosed basins globally. The warmer post-flood waters greatly increased evaporation and hence precipitation. This was a heavier snowfall in high latitudes building up into the ice sheets and heavier rainfall elsewhere. This would have maintained or even raised some of these lakes. We know during the Ice Age, Lake Bonneville rose and overtopped a ridge in southeast Idaho, USA, causing a massive Bonneville flood down the Snake River. The flood and the flood caused Ice Age solved the mystery of the West Deserts. So a bit short today because I'm a bit tired. There's a lot happening here in Ghana. There's a lot that we're doing. So I'm a little bit tired. So I've made a few other videos. So get yourself the Creation magazine. It's fantastic and lots of information there. Here you've got confirming cosmological conundrum. It's all well researched with top scientists involved in this magazine, and so many, such a blessing, such a blessing. Yeah. So I'll let you go. I'm going to go. And that's the Gigi podcast. I hope what I've shared with you today will be an encouragement to you and a blessing. And may God be with you. And God bless you. Take care now, and God bless you. Bye.